Our next item for consideration is H.R. 5810, the Federal Supervisory Education Act of 2025. The clerk will please designate the bill.
H.R. 5810, the Federal Supervisor Education Act of 2025, a bill to provide for mandatory training for federal government supervisors and the assessment of management competencies and for other purposes.
Without objection, the bill shall be considered as read and open for amendment at any point. Without objection to order, the chair recognizes himself to offer an amendment in the nature of a substitute. The clerk please designate the amendment.
An amendment in the nature of a substitute to H.R. 5810 is offered by Mr. Comer of Kentucky.
Without objection, the amendment is considered as read and the substitute will be considered as original text for the purposes of further amendment. I will now recognize myself for 5 minutes for a statement on the bill and the amendment. The American public relies on federal supervisors to lead a workforce that provides high-quality customer service and faithful execution of the law. These expectations and standards require a level of professionalism that can be improved by strengthening relevant education offerings available to federal supervisors. Mr. Timmons from South Carolina's bill would do just that by bolstering existing requirements in federal law governing federal workforce training. Various reports and memos from agencies such as the Government Accountability Office, Office of Personnel Management, and the Merit Systems Protection Board indicate a need to improve relevant educational opportunities for federal supervisors. The Federal Supervisory Education Act, a bipartisan bill dating back to the 114th Congress, articulates and executes best practices in relation to federal supervisory training, including how to effectively manage employees with unacceptable performance. And in relation to the Equals Act, which is included in today's markup, the bill also improves supervisor focus on effectively using the probationary period to examine whether an employee has demonstrated successful performance to continue past the probationary period. These are basic, nonpartisan concepts that are generally available to private sector business supervisors and, if implemented, would advance the interest of good government, strengthening the federal workforce on behalf of the American taxpayers. I urge my colleagues to support this legislation. I yield to the ranking member.
Thank you, Chairman Comer. Also to Congressman Timmons for this bill. There's going to be an amendment which I'm going to separately support, so I'm going to reserve my remarks until after the amendment is made. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The chair recognizes the sponsor of the bill, Mr. Timmons from South Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For years, Oversight Republicans have been pushing for restoring accountability and performance in the federal workforce. When taxpayer dollars pay the salaries of millions of federal employees, the public has every right to expect competent management, clear standards, and real consequences when those standards are not met. Right now, too many federal supervisors step into leadership roles without the training needed to manage people, set clear expectations, or correct poor performance. Agencies promote strong technical employees into supervisory jobs and then send them in blind. That leads to low productivity, uneven standards, and a system where good employees feel unsupported and bad employees rarely face consequences. Taxpayers deserve better, and so do the federal workers who come in every day ready to do their jobs well. This bill takes a practical approach to fixing that. It requires agencies to provide real, meaningful training to new supervisors within their first year, not just a slideshow or a checkbox exercise. That training has to cover the basics of good management, setting clear goals, giving honest and timely feedback, motivating teams, addressing poor performance, and making sure workplaces remain professional. Supervisors must then refresh this training every 3 years so the standards the American people expect continue to be met. H.R. 5810 also requires agencies to build a pipeline of future leaders. It directs them to identify and prepare employees who may become supervisors down the road instead of scrambling to fill vacancies without a plan. And the bill requires agencies to create mentoring programs so experienced supervisors can coach new ones, share lessons learned, and help them develop into strong leaders. The bill also directs the Office of Personnel Management to lay out clear expectations for what good supervision looks like. Agencies will then evaluate their supervisors based on those standards. This ensures consistency, clarity, and accountability, 3 things the federal workforce too often lacks. At the end of the day, this is a common sense reform. It does not grow government, it strengthens it. It ensures supervisors can lead effectively, hold employees accountable, and deliver results for the American people. When supervisors are better trained, employees perform better, and agencies serve taxpayers better. I encourage my colleagues to support this bill. It's a practical step toward improving the federal workforce and restoring confidence in government performance. And I appreciate the work from my colleagues across the aisle to help improve this bill. And I look forward to working with them to get it signed into law. With that, I yield back. Thank you.
Gentleman yields back. Does any other member seek to speak on the underlying bill? For what purpose does Mr. Walkinshaw seek recognition?
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk.
Will the clerk please report?
An amendment to the amendment in the nature of a substitute to H.R. 5810 is offered by Mr. Walkinshaw of Virginia.
Without objection, the amendment is considered as read. I reserve a point of order. The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes to explain his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Timmons, for his great work on this bill. My amendment strikes a provision from H.R. 5810, the Federal Supervisor Education Act, and provides agencies with the necessary autonomy to implement the act in a manner that maximizes its effectiveness. I am a strong supporter of the goal of this legislation and almost all of the language, which, as Mr. Timmons noted, will provide supervisors within the federal workforce the appropriate training and resources to ensure they're strong leaders within their respective agencies. Right now, training for new supervisors varies widely. Some agencies have 4 hours, some agencies have 80 hours, some agencies have structured mentorship programs. Some agencies just assign a guy who knows a few things to mentor new supervisors. And the support outlined in this bill for supervisors will ensure a stronger workplace, higher employee satisfaction and productivity across both supervisory employees and their direct reports, and most importantly, it lead to improved outcomes for the American people. To ensure that this is the case, my amendment removes language that would require training programs to include guidance on, quote, assessing the needs and interests of the agency with respect to a probationary employee's final appointment. This language is, in my view, subjective and outside the scope of the legislation. The bill already requires supervisors be trained on how to, quote, effectively use the probationary period to examine whether an employee has demonstrated successful performance or conduct to continue their employment. This analysis should be enough to objectively determine on merit whether a probationary employee should continue their employment. Requirements that instruct supervisors to determine employment eligibility based on agency interests open the door to a subjective analysis that I think is outside the scope of this good piece of legislation. Mr. Chairman, I urge my colleagues to vote yes on the amendment to ensure that the bill delivers on its full potential to both federal supervisors and, most importantly, to the American public. With that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. I want to thank Mr. Walkinshaw for offering this amendment aimed at striking one reference in the underlying bill. My understanding is that by our accepting this amendment, the bill will receive broader bipartisan support, and it is for that reason that I support this amendment and urge my colleagues to do the same with the Walkinshaw amendment. Does any other member seek recognition on the amendment? Chair recognizes the ranking member.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also want to thank Representative Walkinshaw for this amendment and, of course, the author. This would make a good bill even stronger. This amendment would make it clear that supervisors may not negatively review or remove an employee for political reasons, and I think we all should support this amendment, and I want to yield back.
Any other members seek recognition on the Walkinshaw amendment? The question is now on the amendment offered by Mr. Walkinshaw. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the amendment is agreed to. The question is now on the amendment in the nature of a substitute. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to. The question is now on favorably reporting H.R. 5810 as amended. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. Chair recognizes Mr. Biggs. A recorded vote is ordered. As previously announced, further proceedings on the question will be postponed.